Morning. For those of you who don't know who I am, my name's Lance. I'm an amateur bodybuilder, classic physique competitor, whatever you want to call it. This year is a very special year for me. I left my high-paying job to Minneapolis, Minnesota to be closer to my coach in pursuant of USA's this year. So taking that competition very seriously. Wanted to run through what my morning looks like. So this is not my typical morning, I guess you could say, because I'm currently in what we like to call a diet break phase. So I've been dieting very hard for 16 weeks in a deficit, or we're a little bit ahead of schedule. So now we can allocate some of this time towards eating a little bit more calories. So I'm going to walk you through what I make in the morning and kind of what my routine looks like. So to start off with my day, I start with some psyllium husk, however you pronounce it. I do about 12 grams of that, which is roughly a serving of this. The reason why I'm doing this is really it just kind of helps things move in the morning, helps with fiber, especially around low food. It's important that you're staying regular, right? And then with that, I have Ultra Vitamin by Quicksilver. This is a pretty expensive multivitamin, but it has more than everything you need, especially when you're a bodybuilder, somebody who does what we do. So I'll have this right away in the morning on an empty stomach. The only other thing I'll do right away in the morning is just kind of take some of my vitamins or supplements that don't require food to be taken with them before I'm doing anything. And this concoction can get really gelatinous, so you don't want to mix it with warm water or anything because it'll start to bind. You want to just kind of a liquid. This has more of like an orange flavor, so it's not that bad. I lied, it's pretty bad. Okay, so breakfast today is a little bit more of a treat. It's not normally as much food that you see here, but it's very similar. My foods, whether I'm in a caloric surplus or a deficit, they always stay relatively consistent so that I'm not, doing anything out of the ordinary. My body's not freaking out like, oh, we're used to eating, a specific type of carb source, and now all of a sudden you're throwing a different one at us, and now we have digestive issues or whatever the case may be. Really want to try to avoid that as much as possible. But first things first, I actually do sourdough bread. So with sourdough, I do this honestly year round. I'm going to do about 100 grams of that, so it's literally 2 slices. It's perfect. First of all, in my opinion, it's the best tasting bread that's out there. Second of all, there is some enzymes and nutrients in sourdough itself, just with the process of making it, that are more beneficial for you than a lot of other regular breads that are out there. Rye is also another good alternative too, if you want something that's similar and maybe just don't have the acquired taste for sourdough. Anyway, so we're doing about 100 grams of that, so it's 2 slices. Next up, we have our eggs. So there's going to be 4 whole eggs. All right, so now I'm going to do about 100 grams of vegetables. So today I decided I'm going to do pickles. I know that 3 of these pickles is roughly around 100 grams. It's only like 10-15 calories. Pickles, cucumber, zucchini are all very low in calorie, and they just add a bit of like density or freshness to whatever dish that you're making. I know if you're not in a deficit, sometimes food combinations can taste really weird. So I wouldn't recommend following everything that I say if you're not somebody who's trying to diet or lose weight, because you lose weight and that satiety is built up. Foods start to taste a whole hell of a lot better than they normally do. But anyway, so we have our egg mix here, vegetables cut, our bread is going to be toasted pretty soon. So we'll kind of go into just kind of building it now. All right, so we're doing 4 whole eggs. We had to cut out the other part because I was looking at the wrong day of the week for food, because as you know, if you're somebody who's competed before, or just somebody who's kind of had to lose weight, whatever it is, your days usually aren't the same. If you have high, low days, stuff like that helps with weight loss and stress management, whatever. Just 4 whole eggs, no egg whites, so we don't get that added protein today. One of the reasons behind that, I think, is when you're putting too many energy sources into the body, it can create excess, storage for those energy sources, which leads to fat gain, right, instead of weight loss. So if you're essentially raising one, you want to pull away from another. So it creates multiple different stressors on the body if you have too much of one or too much of all of them there. Lastly, I'm going to do blueberries. Little life hack. If you have a Costco membership, a lot of my friends are harping on me to get one. You save a ton of money if you do a lot of blueberries. So we're doing 300 grams with this meal. I'm going to show you a little something that I do with these blueberries, just kind of sweeten them up a bit and make them even more of a treat. So normally I wouldn't use spray on these stick-free pans, but for whatever reason these Hexclad pans, when it comes to eggs still stick, so you have to use spray. Okay, so this is pretty simple, literally it's 4 eggs down, and I'm going to be pretty basic today and just pink salt and pepper, nothing crazy. That's cooking. Make sure the toast is on. So we got that down. And now I'm going to show you what I like to do with my blueberries. So we'll take this. I have them in some Tupperware right now. These are frozen because there's 2 ways you can do this. So one, I'll add the stevia first. It just kind of enhances the sweetness that's actually in the blueberry itself. And then I like to throw on some cinnamon. I've also done this with like a little bit of like nutmeg as well, so just about that much where it's like a dusting, not too much. And then after we're done with that, sugar-free syrup. So this isn't available everywhere. This is, I think, like a Cubs thing here in Minnesota, our local grocer, but the calories per serving are only 5. It's really low in calories. In that, sure, you get 3 grams of carbs in it, but it's something that's so small, it's really not gonna have an effect on you. And I underdose it, honestly, because the measurement here is 30 milliliters or 30 grams. I like right there, that's like 15. I'm just so used to doing it at this point, I know what it looks like, but that's all you need. You don't even need a full serving. So really you're having 2.5 calories. It's very low. Put a lid on it. Shake this up. Hey, you should. You think that's food? See, she even gets excited about it. So kind of shake this up. Here, you want a treat? Hey. Just that was your treats. So even though it's frozen, there's 2 options you can do with this. Either you can keep it in this form and the syrup with the cinnamon and the stevia will sort of crystallize around the blueberries. So become like little flavor balls, if you will. Maybe that's just my depleted mind saying that, but they are pretty good if you do it like that. They're just kind of like little treats, like you can see them kind of crystallizing around there. Or you can heat them up in the microwave, and then it just becomes like a warm blueberry pie filling almost. So that's kind of what I do for my blueberries. Absolutely love that dish. Let's check out our eggs. So I used to be picky about how I make my eggs, but honestly, first thing in the morning when all I can think about is food, when I wake up, I don't care. If they're scrambled, they're over easy, whatever they are, none of it matters to me. But we're gonna let that cook down a little bit more. Next up is literally gonna be the egg dish, which is just gonna be our sourdough bread, which normally wouldn't be 2 pieces, it would just be 1. We're gonna add our pickles to it, and then I have these 2 different sauces here that I'll kind of talk about. So this one in here, this is Flavor Gang's chili lime sauce. I don't remember the egg. It's like Don Julio or something like that. It's chili. It's like their chili lime sauce, whatever. It's got a little bit of heat, a lot of sweetness. I think they do use a syrup base in this as well, so it's actually quite nice. And then I like to mix that with specifically the green Cholula sauce. I probably pronounced that wrong, or whatever. The green pepper, just for a little bit more heat. I like heat. If you don't like heat, you have basic taste buds, and you don't like spices, well, you're boring and you probably only have sex and missionary, let's be real. But aside from that, eggs are almost done. These look like shit. I need to hire a chef, man. No, I'm actually pretty decent at cooking. Look at that. Big, fluffy, 100 grams of sourdough bread right there. I'm getting kind of hangry. I need this to cook faster. I've also done things like I've made omelets with eggs. There's just so much you can do that. You can make like a scramble, which is good. If you have something like beef or turkey in your breakfast, or salmon even, you can make really good, skillets or omelets, hashes, stuff like that. But my breakfast is pretty boring. It's literally 3 things. I just find ways to creatively spice it up. But for what we're having today, it's literally just going to be the eggs, pickles, and the bread. This isn't Michelin star cooking here. It doesn't have to be super pretty. All right, so take this, just a little bit of the hot sauce on there, the chili lime, and then a dabble of the hot. That's what I eat. All right, let's give it a taste. Let's get a little bite of that pickle in there. I can't pick up the egg with a fork. It's actually a good concoction. I would highly recommend adding that heat, like that green pepper sauce, just because it brings out more of the bite that's actually in the pickle itself. Now, I know I'm not a professional food reviewer by any means, but I'm just saying it helps. And sourdough bread, nothing on it. No butter, no nothing. Still fantastic. If you can get a local baker, it's even better. That's just from the grocery store. And then lastly, of course, I know I'm not using a palate cleanser like a seltzer water, but again, I'm not fucking Gordon Ramsay. I swear, that's like the perfect sweet treat. If you have something like blueberries or a berry of some sort in your diet, add a little bit of stevia on it. Make sure it's frozen. It just enhances the sweetness that's available in the fruit itself. Honestly, just makes the entire experience better, right? It makes you want more. So it's a good feeling. Anyway, that's a little bit of a intro into what my mornings look like. If you like this content, make sure you like, subscribe, leave a comment below. Shoot me a DM on Instagram and other stuff you want to see. Look forward to seeing you